Hey everyone, it's Luis Tejada from North Boston Realty at C21NE or Novo at Century 21 Northeast. The question today is, tax-wise, as a first-time home buyer, is it better to buy a single, 2, 3, or 4 family? As a first-time home buyer, you can buy up to a 4 family. So, today, I'm going to let you know what I know to be the difference between a single or a multi as far as taxes are concerned. And this is the reason why I'm a tax preparer. I want to make sure that as your realtor, I am fully aware of all of the scenarios, all the complications that are involved in real estate, all of the aspects of real estate, taxation being a big one. So I need to detail to you why I think buying a multi as opposed to a single as a first-time home buyer is your best option. As a matter of taxation, the government gives you this thing called a standard, forget my chicken scratch, deduction. And a standard deduction is an amount of money that the government says this is the amount of money you should be able to live for the whole year without being charged taxes, right? The standard deduction is always fighting against this Schedule A. And the Schedule A is also known as itemized deductions. Now, itemized deductions is when you're when you own a single family, that's where your taxes and your interest go into the itemized deduction. So these two are always competing. Schedule A and itemized deductions are always competing, and the end result is that you only get to take advantage of one of those deductions, right? You only get to use one of those deductions, right? So for example, say that you made $40,000 a year and you're a head of household. It's you and your 2 kids, right? You are a head of household, so your standard deduction is about $18,000. So if you made $40,000, right? Now we're going to deduct 18 out of that, you get 30,000 is what your taxable income is going to be, right? Because you can only take one of these, right? So 18 would be if your standard deductions, it's what the government gives you. Now your itemized deductions, if you've had a ton of donations, your interest and your taxes on a single family, that's all you can deduct, interest and taxes. On a standard deduction, right? That is kind of almost always covered. These two usually seem to be about the same amount of money, right? So that your benefit is sort of nullified a little bit when you own a single family. But there's other benefits to owning a single family. Peace of mind, not having to deal with tenants. So there's a lot of, you don't have capital gains tax when you sell a single family. So there are other benefits to buying a single. I'm not saying that you have to buy a multi. I'm just saying that tax-wise, your best choice is to buy a multi. Why? Well, when you have a multi, and I know this is going to be a little tough okay, that ain't going to happen. So here's what's going to happen. On a multi-family, you get the standard deduction, right? So you're going to get that $18K no matter what. But now, because you own a 2-family, 3 or 4, you get also a Schedule E. And the Schedule E is where you get to deduct the portion that doesn't belong to your unit. You say it's a 2-family, you get to deduct half, the half that belongs to the tenant, because that rental income becomes your income. That rent, even though that money is not going to your pocket, it's going to the bank, it's considered your rental income. So you need to offset that. The Schedule E allows you to do that with some deductions of water, sewer, trash, depreciation, you get repairs, marketing, any of these things. There's a lot of opportunity. Your interest and your taxes and your insurance. There's a lot of opportunity for you to make that Schedule E a fair amount where that income, and usually, especially with depreciation, the income ends up being negative. So now, not only do you get the standard deduction, right, the 18,000, but you also get the Schedule E, and usually, depending on your situation, that usually will come out negative, which means a further deduction on your taxes, on your taxable base so that you pay less taxes and you get a bigger refund. So 2, 3, 4 family has bigger benefits. You do, of course, have capital gains tax, but only on the portion that was the business portion. Because when you own a 2, 3, or 4 family, it is a business. No matter how you deal with it, I don't care if you're renting to family and you're giving them a little break on the rent, never more than 10-15% of a break on the rent, because that money's not going to you. You're paying the mortgage, but you need to have a little separate fund to put money aside for repairs. Heating system breaks, it's $4,500 on the spot. A hot water heater breaks, it's $2,000 on the spot. So we need to make sure that you have that little savings on the side, okay? And so the standard deduction, right, with the Schedule E will give you a lower tax base so that you can keep more money in the pocket and increase that repair fund, okay? And so that, my friends, is part of the reason why I believe if you're going to buy if you're a first-time home buyer, you should buy a multi. The last thing I will say is that when you buy a multi first and then you go to a single family, you can usually do that with a lower down payment. Where if you buy a single first and then you want to get into business and buy a 2 or 3, now you're looking at 20-25% down, regardless of your credit. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. So that has been a little bit of, I hope I was able to clear up some of the taxation mentality with regards to what should I buy as a first-time home buyer, a single or a 2. There's a ton of conversation that we could be had. And so I'm here for you. You give me a call. This is why we study this stuff, so that we are here at Century 21 Northeast, capable of answering everything to you on the spot directly. This has been Luis Tejada for Nobos at Century 21 Northeast, North Boston Realty. Goodbye.